Hi, welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. Well, as you are obviously seeing, our comments are still disabled, and it's not really a puzzle why. The thing is, if anybody takes it into their head to really focus on disabling a channel's comments, it's very, very simple, especially if they have multiple accounts in different names, different usernames. They can do it quite easily by just keep on reporting, and if necessary they can put something up there like a nasty comment which allows them to report. So there's not really any surprise on that. But what I am a little bit surprised at is that I made a video that was based on a report that I saw on public media about a man, a Swedish man. I'm saying somebody took exception to that. Why did you have to mention his nationality? Well, that was because he comes from Sweden, and if I mention someone who comes from the UK, I usually say that he's a Brit, and I call Americans Americans, and they don't seem to be offended by that, you know, being called an American. I'm not quite sure what else I would call anybody that comes from there. So that's the reason there. No other intent was, or no intent was meant to offend or degrade. It's just what it was. Well, anyway, this man had done what many men, many foreigners do, and that is they request nude photos of the woman that they have begun to write to. Now, the other thing that they request is money, and we did the video that I'm telling you about. We touched on that, the fact that if you are a Filipino, you're watching this, and anybody requests either of those two items, you don't pause to say goodbye, just hit delete and block. So we actually apparently made the mistake of doing what I suggested and putting nude photos or money. And the idea was that if someone asks for nude photos of you and you actually give those photos, that's only the beginning of the story. It's not the end of the story, because you have no idea what's going to happen to those photos. And I thought that this was a pretty important subject to cover for many of our OFWs, and for many of the women here who are genuinely seeking to have at first what may be a long distance relationship, and then later actually developing into something a bit, not a bit more permanent, a lot more permanent. In other words, a life partner. So you got to really watch what you're going to put on Facebook about yourself, and let's face it, nude photos, would you really want those to surface any time after? Imagine a best case scenario where you gave those photographs and you sent them on over the internet, and everything went well, and you had a long distance relationship with someone, and you actually forgot that you'd sent those photographs. And then if the relationship broke up and you both moved on, 6, 7, 8, maybe 10 years later, when everybody's forgotten even what everybody else's name was, or where they came from, or any of those details like that, suddenly those photographs may suddenly seem like shall we say, in the public domain, which means you might be sitting there with your 4 or 5 year old child that's come from the wonderful relationship that developed after you left this guy, and suddenly there's photographs of you without the clothes. Very embarrassing, and I'm sure that you wouldn't want that. So I got off the subject only for a moment, which was a change, wasn't it? When we put that up and it had the word nudity and photos in it, the video disappeared. Now, I certainly didn't take it down, but I saw a message from someone who said, "Why did you take the video down?" And I said to Beth, why did you take the video down? Because I knew that I didn't take it down. And she said, "Well, I didn't take the video down." So for some reason the video was taken down. Now, there was nothing offensive in it any more than what I've actually been talking to you about at this time. Well, anyway, we went on to check on it and it reappeared. Well, what we did was we changed the title on that, and we included that one word which I had put in my note when I offer any ideas on what the title should be on a video that I've just made. And in that one, for that particular video, I put blackmail, because that was the 3 words: nudity, photos, blackmail. Those were the three key words for describing that whole adventure that someone had. In this particular case, the woman was very brave and she went to the police, and that's how we learned that the guy was less than your real Romeo, and he was a wannabe, and he'd scammed a lot of people. So it was good that we haven't heard anything else since. Of course, this is what happens with many news items, isn't it? You get the big flare up, it's on everybody's lips, and then suddenly nothing. You know, for all that stuff that went down and is going down now about Jeffrey Epstein, I noticed that nobody seemed to be talking about it. So I typed in Epstein into Google. I got nothing. Now just imagine if I had typed in that before his death, before they before somebody got rid of him, I'd have had any number of sites come up where there was stuff going on about him. Well, it has resurfaced as it must, and people in high places are wondering who is going to speak up next, and the people who are perhaps thinking about speaking up next are wondering what their chances of surviving are. I don't know, I think it's one of those things, isn't it, when there was a meltdown on Wall Street and people panicked. This is at the start of the Depression, and people panicked and threw themselves out of their 6 and 7 and 10 and 20 story building windows, and the man, somebody on his way down, he's jumped off to kill himself, and on his way down somebody said, "How's it going?" He said, "Well, so far so good." Maybe that didn't travel so well. Certainly not down. Well, anyway, thanks for watching in, thanks for looking in, and hope it helps. Bye for now.